Gary Alvarez is here, and I'm very excited to be doing a quick hitter today, whenever you listen to it, on the incredible Wisconsin volleyball victory down in Austin, Texas, 3-1 over the Longhorns, which advanced Kelly Sheffield's crew to the Final Four. The third-seeded Badgers beat the top-seeded Longhorns in a game that 3-1, that's about right. Wisconsin took the first set 25-22, the second set 25-21, dropped the third set 25-20, and after a very slow start, dominated set number 4, 25-19 over the Longhorns. Remind you to like and subscribe, and certainly love to hear your comments. I don't know how many of you are volleyball folks, but if you're not, at least tonight you should be. Today you should be. Because that was an exhilarating win. And what makes it extra special is I was able to be there. This was the first match in quite some time I was able to attend down here in Austin, Texas. And courtesy of Bucky's Fifth Quarter hooked me up. And so I was impressed. So I had to keep things, kind of a small fist bump every now and then, but kind of keep things on the down low and the low key. Can't be cheering, but what an absolutely entertaining, stressful, exhilarating, and incredibly rewarding match for the Wisconsin Badgers. It was so much fun, and hats off to the University of Texas Longhorns. They play in a place called Gregory Gymnasium. It has to be about 2,500, maybe 3,000. Kind of a mini field house is how I describe it. Just packed to the rafters with folks right up to the floor. Incredibly intimidating environment. The only way to make that environment not intimidating is to do what the Badgers did and go on large stretches where you're pretty much controlling the game. But when Texas was doing its thing in the third set, I almost couldn't I couldn't hear myself think. It was one of the loudest environments in sports I've ever heard in my life. So hats off to them. It's the field house is awesome, but this certainly rivals it as far as environment. Very cool seeing Bucky Badger there. A portion of the band was there for Wisconsin. The cheerleaders. I don't know if these are just things that happen when a football team doesn't get a bowl game, or this is just the way things happen when popular teams are playing in the Elite Eight. But that was super fun. It didn't feel like the Field House South. I'll be honest with you. I mean, it was cool. You could hear the Wisconsin cheers periodically, and certainly at the end, you heard quite a cavalcade. But that was a very ravenous pro-Texas crowd, and the only way to make them quiet is to beat them, and they did. Just an incredibly fun experience, nerve-wracking. Wisconsin, 3-1 is about right. 80 total points to 61 for the Longhorns. 67 kills for the Badgers to 48. 5 aces to 4. Mimi Collier, not shockingly, led the way with 23 kills. Charlie Furberger, 57 assists. It's absurd. It's absurd the level that she is playing at right now as a sophomore, coming off a major injury earlier this season. The assists don't always get the publicity, but they're so incredibly important. And the accuracy with which she does her business is just a sight to behold. So congrats to her. Simon, 15 digs. Texas is a powerful, athletic, real together team. And Simon was on that floor so many times rescuing that ball. It was amazing. And Carter Booth, there's so many names that you can go through. This was just a true team effort. Just amazing stuff. Grace Egan played outstandingly. I don't want to leave anybody out here, so I'm not going to list everyone. But Una played great. But yeah, it was fun. It was just watching volleyball on TV is fine. it's fine. It's exciting. When they won the tournament in 2021, I was watching on TV. It was super cool. But being there to see them make the Final Four in the actual building, Scary Alvarez was there, feeling it. When that game, the match was over after the fourth set, I ran on down from press row, had my son with me, and was got to the floor. Not that I was at the side of the team, but I got to the first level just in time to do varsity. Still chokes me up so many years after I left there. And the Bud song, it it was just great, guys. I mean, it was a fantastic balm, made even more satisfying after the horrendous Green Bay Packer loss. Rest in peace, and Micah Parsons and all that. But wow, I am so glad I made it down there. University of Texas runs a first-class operation, so hats off to them for getting me the passes, the press passes. Bucky's fifth quarter, Rowan, of course, doing his thing. But yeah, just amazing stuff. So anyone out there who has not watched Wisconsin volleyball, and more importantly, has not been to a Wisconsin volleyball match, I'm here to tell you, you're missing out. And Wisconsin is going to be playing the University of Kentucky. Real strong team. I would have put them as the number 2, and I think the NCAA did as well, team going into this NCAA tournament behind Nebraska, who, by the way, were upset by the Texas A&M Aggies in 5 sets on their home court. Shocking. Can't believe it happened right before the Badger game. But yeah, it's Pittsburgh and Kentucky, the Aggies, and the Badgers. That's not the Final Four that a lot of people are expecting. And pretty much the vast majority of NCAA volleyball fans had Nebraska penciled in there. Though not too many people had Wisconsin either. I think Texas was a very, very heavy favorite as well. One seeded Pittsburgh and Kentucky are both in there, so it's a mix. It's not crazy having 3 seeds and such, but this is gonna be a lot of fun coming right up there in Kansas City. But hats off to the Wisconsin Badgers. Just an incredible performance. Kelly Sheffield is a maestro. This is the program's 6th Final Four. It's just amazing. This is an elite program playing at an elite level in a season based on injury and some other things, people feeling their roles out and things like that. Halfway through the year, this didn't feel like a Final Four kind of team. I'm not saying what the thoughts inside that locker room were. I'm talking about the experts and the fans. Just didn't have that vibe. But Wisconsin got healthy, locked in, really, really committed themselves to getting back to where they feel is their birthright, which is the Final Four, and figured it out and got it done. This was not an easy bracket for them. I mean, that's a hell of a Stanford team that Wisconsin handled with relative ease, and an even better Texas Longhorn team that Wisconsin handled similarly easily. I will say, though, in fairness, when Texas came back and won set 3 to make it 2-1, and then went up 4-0 in set 4, when Sheffield took that timeout, I will admit, I started having doubts creep into my mind. Set 3 had too many service errors, and you saw some of the things that had unraveled them in recent big games. But this team just came to play. They were locked in, mentally incredibly tough, playing at a high level, and just super impressive. And I am really proud of this volleyball squad. We'll get some of them on the podcast, hopefully postseason. But yeah, congratulations, Wisconsin volleyball. Y'all were fantastic. You made the city proud, and now take the next steps and go get that national championship over there in Kansas City. Scary's with you, and Scary's out.